Clemenza Caserta here. Today, one of my favorite things in the whole world, meatballs. Very simply, a little ground beef, ground pork, ground veal. That's your traditional meatball. What we add to that is a little fresh basil, a little parsley, a little parmesan, a little garlic, a little egg, a little bread. Now to start, like I said, we got our ground beef, ground pork, ground veal all mixed together. We're gonna take a little bit of fresh parsley, just give it a nice little chop. And like I said, parsley is key to this. So is the basil. Some people don't put it in. I happen to like it. A little basil, a little parsley. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right. Now into our mix. And this is one of those dishes where you're going to have to really get up in there. You're going to get your hands messy. Also great for the kids. I know kids love to roll meatballs. When I was a kid, my mother made Sunday gravy. I used to roll the meatballs. I actually used to steal the meatballs and eat them, but that's a different story. Now, what we have in our meat mixture, parsley, basil. We're going to add some garlic. Matter of fact, we're going to add a lot of garlic. Now, the key to a good meatball, good Parmesan or Romano cheese. And you want to add a lot of it. You don't be cheap with the cheese. Take a whole bunch of cheese, and when you think you got enough, you're going to add a little bit more. All right, once we get the cheese going, and these are meatballs done with breadcrumb. The other way to do them is to take leftover Italian bread or leftover bread, soak it in milk or water, throw the bread in, squeeze it together. But I'm going to show you how to do it with breadcrumb. Now, when you add breadcrumb, you don't want to add too much. You don't want dry balls. That's the worst thing that can possibly happen. Now, you're using a pound of ground beef. Typically, you want to go at least 2 eggs. You want to season it with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Now, keep in mind, because we added a lot of grated cheese or Parmesan Romano, you don't want to add too much salt, but you do want to add a little bit of salt to bring out the flavor. Now, 2 other things that I do like to add, and it's been a little bit of controversy with a lot of people. Some people like it, some people don't like it. I happen to like it. A little bit of granulated onion and a little bit of granulated garlic. And all that is simple onion and garlic that's been dehydrated and ground down into a spice. We actually make this ourselves. I have it dehydrated, so this is actually homemade stuff. It's pretty good. So like I said, after all your ingredients are in, you're going to get a little messy. It's going to happen. The only way to do this is to get your hands up in there, mix it. Now the key to this too is make sure you mix everything really well, because you have the breadcrumb and the herbs and the garlic and the spices, okay? And like I said, this is a lot of fun, something you can do with the kids. All right. Now, the other thing too is, you may have to play around with it a little bit. If you add too much breadcrumb, you can always add a little bit more egg. You add too much egg, you can always add a little bit more breadcrumb. But in all honesty, we got it perfect. Now, once everything's mixed, the key is this. Depends on how big you want to make them. You can make them small. You can make them medium. I like to do a medium size. Okay? Very simple. All you're going to do is grab the same amount, or try to grab the same amount. That way they cook even. Roll them out. And again, it's a lot of fun. At least I like it. Roll them out. Get them going. Now, the key to this too is frying them is actually, you got to be very careful. You don't want to go on too much of a high flame, because keep in mind they're going to have to fry. They have to cook all the way through. And if you're making a Sunday gravy, you can fry them 60, 70, 80%. Throw them in your gravy, and they're going to be happy little campers. All right. Now, once we got enough made, okay, we got a little pan behind us with a little bit of oil. And like I said, you want to go on a medium flame. That way your oil's nice. Now check it out. What we're going to do is this. Now here's a little trick too. Once you put them in, if you slide the pan a little bit like that, it'll stop them from sticking. All right. A couple of minutes on each side. Brown them on all sides. Homemade Italian meatballs. It's a beautiful thing. 3 to 4 minutes, they'll be ready. All right. Now, like I said, after a couple of minutes on a medium flame, and you want to keep turning them, making sure they cook even on all sides. Okay? Check that out. That's a beautiful thing right there. Homemade fried meatballs. Now, very simple if you want to plate them. Just like that. I like to eat a few fried before we put them in the sauce or the gravy. But again, just for now, we're simply doing some fried meatballs just to show you how to do it and what they look like. Absolutely beautiful. And there it is. Fried meatballs with breadcrumbs.